Today, my plan is to finally fix my 6x6 crawler and get that working. Because if you remember on my Cthulhu video a while back, several months ago maybe, I think it was, that thing took so much damage, it lost its rear drive shaft, which brought it down to 4-wheel drive instead of 6-wheel drive. I broke one of the front CVDs, eventually bringing it down to a, what would be a 6x3? Yeah, a 6x3, which isn't very effective with crawling. I think I do better with my Gorgon, as you may have seen. Well, anyways, I've been working on this for ever since that day, off and on, as I order parts. I've been working on this, and I keep running into problems. First, with the drive shafts I ordered, the Integy 6-wheel drive shafts, the front, middle, and rear. Those, of course, were not made for an AliExpress chassis, so they aren't quite the right size. I had to grind them down, which I recorded some of that, and I'll put it together for you here, in case anyone cares. Maybe somebody else has one of these AliExpress chassis, and maybe run into the same problems. It's the only reason why I'm really making this video. But, in the end, I think today I'm going to get it going. So, and when I'm not doing RC or working, I try to, when I have time, play some games. Axiom Verge. I'm a sucker for pixel art and Metroidvanias, so there you go. You know one more thing about me. But I'll stop talking and I'll get to the nitty-gritty of what you probably want to see. Maybe. Well, my new Integy drive shafts are a little too long. You know what that means. Note to self, grinded steel is hot. Let's see if that's enough. Well, it's kind of slanted. I gotta fix that. Let's level it out. It's not the right tool to do it with. I don't have a cutter. It's all I got. I'm disappointed there are no sparks. That'll be good for testing fitment. We'll see. You know it's gonna be hot, so let's see how straight I got this thing. It's decently straight. Yep, that's hot. We'll let that cool for a minute. We got one more to go. And then my wife's gonna come out here and say, "What the heck are you doing? The baby's trying to sleep." A little scratch on this one where I need to cut it. Oh, jeez, it's still hot. Forgot it was hot. Yeah. We are very close. Not much further. Oh, a piece of it chipped off the side. Piece chipped apparently. Well, we'll just have to live with that. That's probably good enough. Unplug unplug it for safety. And I'm not going to touch it for a little bit because that's going to be hot. So I already had problems with my rear axle binding up, but now that I've replaced my drive shaft, well, don't mind the missing wheel, I'm still working on this thing. It's binding even more now. It's just trying to tear itself apart. And I'm aware that the position of my axle is the problem. I just can't figure out how to fix it. There's no other place for me to put these links. I need to move these links farther back in order to move the upper top part of the axle back, but there's no place to bolt them. I don't know if I have to build some kind of structure or what. Only thing I think is if I put the link like here, but then it's gonna be way far back, about just as far back as it is forward, and that's just not gonna work. Well, it's moving now. Much better. Oh yeah, it's working a lot better than earlier. It's not perfect, and as you can see, I didn't straighten the axle. The axle's still at an angle. But what I had to work with, unfortunately, there's not really any good place to mount this lower arm here. This guy. Both of those. There's only one mounting hole. The only other thing I could think of was to put it somewhere up here, which would be way crazy high, but I also fixed my drive shaft, which I don't think I mentioned that before, but my drive shaft that broke over here. This is a chassis based off of the SCX-10 platform, obviously by a cheap Chinese manufacturer, but so I ordered a SCX-10 drive shaft on Amazon. Turns out it was too long, and the part that goes into the bearing that goes into the axle here was too chunky, so it didn't work. So I wound up going to AliExpress to the same seller I bought this from and trying to buy one of those. Thankfully it fit, so that's good. I had actually ordered these. These are actually shock tower mounts, thinking that maybe I could kind of do something like this and kind of get a little bit of space and mount the arm there, but instead I realized that was binding there because this was reaching its limit. My rear drive shaft was, so I shortened that a little bit once again with the angle grinder without burning myself this time, and it seems to be better than it was before it broke. So we'll see how it goes, see if we have any problems with the shaft falling out. These new Integy drive shafts should fix that whole problem with the pins falling out. Because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but whoops, plopping my lipo around. I probably shouldn't talk that. They have a little. Come on. I'll probably help if I turn this off. Okay, now I can turn it. So it's got that. The pin is down here, but because of that little cover, that little pin is covered by this, so it solves the problem of that little pin inside there working its way loose. So I'm hoping this works better in the long run, but time will tell. Well guys, I used my lunch break to go out and try out the 6x6 again after replacing those drive shafts, and as luck would have it, after not even 5 minutes, my drive shaft fell out again, the same one. The rear shaft. So after I collected my disbelief that I lost it again, I spent my entire lunch hour scouring the dirt and leaves at Turkey Mountain looking for that drive shaft, because that set of 3 front, center, and rear shafts from Integy, that was like $70. And I'm like, I'm not walking away from this. I am getting I can use a pin probably from a wheel hex, you know. So that's not a big deal. But yeah, I lost my drive shaft again, and I had a really cool video planned. If I have the footage, I was recording. If the footage turned out, I may add the footage here of me realizing what happened with my frustration, my raw frustration. And I'll add that on there. But hopefully later this week or even next week, I should be back out there again. I know why I fell out. It's because on those shafts, there's a grub screw that holds a little shield in place. I think I showed earlier in the video. It holds a little shielding thing over the holes where the pins go. Well, apparently I was paranoid about them falling off, so I tightened it so tight that the grub screw, that the sheet goes over the grub screw. So the grub screw is meant to hold it in place, but I tightened it so tight that it didn't do its job. So yeah, I'm gonna fix that hopefully tonight, and we'll try again. So hopefully next time I'll have my Halloween video to you. Kidding me?